Since the golden image came from the golden head, this was the law called democracy imposed upon them by the United States CIA, trying to make them abandon the law of Moses, the cursed God, to make himself as God. These were the one that God called Satan. And here's the verse 10, Daniel 3:10. Thou, O king, the Chaldees. I'm going to go to 9 again. Start at 9 again. They spake, verse 8. Verse 8, I'm going to start there. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldees came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the cymbal, the salsa, and the dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image, which is the Lord of democracy. And whoso fall not down and worship, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews who thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods. In other words, they're changing. They were telling you at the end they was going to try to make them curse God. I mean, he gave you in Revelation chapter 13, had blaspheming on the head, making them abandon the law of Moses and take on the law called democracy, to honor the laws of mythology. It's the sorcerers who spoken and told you in the early part of Daniel chapter 2 who they was. Now, then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before King Nebuchadnezzar, and spake and said unto them, It is true, O Shadrach, Meshach, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, and the sackbut, salsa, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is the God that shall deliver you out of my hand? It's what they have told the people over there right now as I speak. God can't deliver you. We got you. We're going to waterboard you, but they did nothing more than waterboard. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer you in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast said before. In other words, he said, I'm going to hold my integrity towards God. I will not serve your God. I will not serve the law called democracy. Same thing that Saddam Hussein told the United States. I will not serve your law called democracy. I will not cause my people to serve your law of democracy. That's when they slayed him, they told him to go straight to hell. This reason war is still going on in Afghanistan, because it's not about knocking down a trade center. It means that he wants them to abandon the law of Moses. And why there is no definition of a finish. There's no objective to the end of their war. Then was Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spoke and commanded that they should heat the furnace 1/7 time more than it was to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army, and Abednego, and of his army, to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was so urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spoke, and said unto his counselor, Did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurry. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fire furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the servants of the Most High God, come forth, and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king, counselors, being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had not power, nor was an hair of their heads singed, neither were their coats changed, nor smell of fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angels and delivered his servants, and trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yield their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree that every peoples, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Okay, the reason I took you there, it was the final conclusion to another game of what is happening today. This became a symbol to present to us all the nations who do not take on and worship the law called the marks, which came from this head of gold, would be cast into the fire burn, would be tortured and given to the flame. Some would fall down and be to try their faith, because it tells you in Malachi, chapter 3, I believe, he wants his gold tried by fire. It tells you that their faith would